Unless you tell a coward that they're a coward, how do they know they're a coward? And only they can sort out their community. Because if they don't, and it gets to a stage where we've got to sort out their community, we'll be using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. 6% of the population and 18% of the prison population. They're represented 3 times more in jail.
But you've asked this question before of me, and I've never really been able to give you an answer, which is, why didn't the moderate Muslims come out and protest about the Manchester bombing? Why didn't they come out and protest about the Southport thing? And I think your theory has always been, oh, well, that's because they believe in all this stuff, or well, they support it. I don't think it is that. I think the more I'm reading about it, this is to do with apostasy, which is basically the punishment they will get if they stand against their own religion or the extremes of their own religion. I think a lot of Muslims are scared.
Oh, well, that's what I've been saying. I've not said that they've not said things because they believe in it. I think most moderate Muslims, I know lots of them, first of all, they're scared. They're scared of their Islamic nutters, just like we're scared of them.
Yeah.
Who do you think kills all the Muslims in the Middle East?
Yeah.
Other
Muslims.
Muslims love killing Muslims. Yeah. It's a sport for them.
But you're more likely to be killed by a Muslim if you go against a Muslim than if you're a Christian. If you go against the Christian religion, if I went against if I wrote a book that's
nothing
like
happens.
And then I went on set, I wouldn't expect a bloke to come and stab me.
The Life of Brian's a great example.
Yeah. So Christianity, by its very nature, whether it's maturity as a religion or whatever, you can lay into Christianity and have a laugh about it, and people might complain, but you don't get stabbed in the eye, do you?
Exactly.
But if you're a Muslim...
Salman Rushdie got stabbed in the eye.
Correct. That's the example I was using.
Exactly.
I wasn't just randomly using it.
Yeah, he lost his eye. So you're right. So the moderate Muslims, they're scared of standing up, but that's because partly the cowards. The cousin marriage thing, I would imagine lots of them actually think, well, it's okay, we've always done that. My mum and dad were cousin marriages. My sister married a cousin. If that's what we want to do, what concern is it to do with anyone else? And I sort of agree with that. But the Islamist side of it, we need moderate Muslims to grow a pair, and only they can sort out their community. Because if they don't, and it gets to a stage where we've got to sort out their community, we'll be using a sledgehammer to crack a nut, where they know who the nutcases are, so they need to do it. And if the longer they leave it, the more likely we'll be wielding a sledgehammer to solve this problem.
We need to start creating a coward list for you, because you have quite a long list of cowards that you... I think we've just added moderate Muslims to that list.
That's the problem with the West, cowardly men.
There's that friend of mine who took the black pill, who won't say anything. He's on the coward. He didn't actually come on Sunday. He was supposed to come. Yeah, but he may have been scared.
He was scared because the coward. No, he's less cowardly than he was, because he's now fighting back. He's doing things now, so he's overcoming that. I don't expect.
What's he doing now?
Well, you said he's having a conversation with you.
Yes, no, he is.
So he's doing. He's on the journey of not being a coward anymore now. So I don't use the word coward as in a derogatory. I'm using it as a state of being. Unless you tell a coward that they're a coward, how do they know they're a coward?
So you think there's the cowards you're describing, you think there's redemption for them?
Once they realise what they're doing is cowardly, then they can fight back, because it's in all men not to be cowards.
I wish he'd come. It would have been great to have that conversation. Somebody on Twitter commented on the first current thing, and it's a really kind of interesting summary of the Muslim population in this country. So I'm going to read this out, if you don't mind, Nick, into my microphone, which can hear me for a change.
Thank you.
Muslims are 6.5% of the population, but represent 67% of terror attacks. 25 to 30% of birth defects. 84% of child gang rapes. 18% of the prison population. 12,000 FGM attendances a year, which is what you were talking about before, and 44%, which is a staggering number, are unemployed, along with 27% being in social housing. I mean, those are pretty staggering. I mean, we often cover statistics here, but it's kind of very neatly summarised in that paragraph. It is.
Some of those stats are an issue, but some of them are. and we don't discuss any of it. The big one for me is 6% of the population and 18% of the prison population. They're represented 3 times more in jail. So where's that conversation? Where's that conversation in the Muslim community? We don't expect them to have that conversation. We don't hold them accountable. So they don't have that conversation. So this problem just carries on.
Yeah, because the conversation is not taking place in our institutions.
Yeah.
It's not taking place by our governments,
No,
is
it's
it?
not.
Yet.
Yeah.
It's starting to happen, but it hasn't been happening.
Yeah. And then the terrorist stats, 66%, something like that.
67%. I think it might be more than that.
Well, that's terrorist, but it depends what you include as a terrorist incident. If you change that to serious terrorist attack where someone dies, then it's 99% Muslim related.
So do you think they're including the enough is enough writers in those?
Of course they are.
That's scandalous.
They're including anyone who gets arrested, jailed for terrorism, which can be tweeting online. All those things are included in that. So if you look at where people died, that's 99% Muslim related.
Yeah.
30 years ago, it would have been 100% Irish related.
Correct, yeah.
So things change.
Yeah.
But at the moment, we're going through an Islamic terrorism stage.